So before we get into the first XRP chapter, and then I'll jump into the Stellar chapter. It's very interesting in my humble opinion. I'm going to put a bunch of information on the screen today to prove, or not even prove, but to show you solid information about what I was talking about yesterday. So I started off the video yesterday talking about DLT's government connections with DLT, their intentions to use DLT, and how I believe, it's my belief, it's not a fact, it's not a guarantee, but I believe that if there is a crisis, if there's a financial crash, if there's something devastating that happens in the United States, that they could use that opportunity to deploy the new financial system, right? So I'm going to show you all the connections, all the different articles about the government and its intentions to use DLT, distributed ledger technologies, blockchain, hash graph. They say it themselves. Go look at it. Reading is fundamental. Reading is fun to mental, right? All right. And then you tell me, where's the falsehood in any of this? That's why people, this type of stuff here, all these articles, that's why people believe that the government can use the bank coins. Not to mention the connections between Ripple and the Faster Payments Task Force. Who launched the Faster Payments Task Force? The federal government. There's a PDF I'm showing you right here before you even deny it. There's a PDF here that's literally from the Fed talking about them starting the Faster Payments Task Force. Then let's talk about the Faster Payments Council. Who started that? Oh, yeah, the federal government as well. Let's not talk about the connections between Stellar and the White House, how they sent a letter to the White House and then the White House literally called Stellar on the phone, which they said themselves. Where's the falsehood in any of that? So I'm just going to show you. I'm just getting this out of the way. Just getting this out of the way. This is an easy knockout. Then I said about the XLM, the Stellar disbursement platform that's being used by the United Nations. That's factual. And how the World Economic Forum, which Stellar is a member of the World Economic Forum, who puts prime ministers and presidents in place. That's also factual. That's all facts. So the World Economic Forum put out this data that I covered in the other video where they were showing that there's an increase in crisis around the world. And what is Stellar Aid disbursement platform used for? It's used for crisis. So then why would they not also use it? If there's crisis increasing, why would that not also spur possibly an increase in the use of the Stellar Aid disbursement platform? That's definitely a possibility. That's literally what it's used for. That's a fact. So then I also connected that with back that up with the mentality that pervades, let's just take the United States government, for example, but it really pervades all of them. They all do this. But the United States government are the ones that are loose with the lips and literally say these types of things. They have a mentality, a collective mentality of don't let a good crisis go to waste. Now, the first person that I remember saying that was Hillary Clinton. The next person I remember saying that was Rahm Emanuel, right? When he was underneath Barack Obama. I'm showing you all the clips. This is why I said what I said. Nothing I'm saying as a researcher, nothing I'm saying is just off the top of my head. Sure, I have my opinion, but I try to base it off of things that I've read, factual information. If you disagree, you disagree, but there's no falsehood in what I'm saying. That's coming from actual information and data. Now, a person said it before Rahm Emanuel and Hillary Clinton, which was Winston Churchill. So this shows you over time that there's a consistent mentality of never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, when there is a crisis or crises happening, they can easily use that to deploy technologies. They can use that to deploy laws and technology, because when the people are weak, are they really going to reject it? No. That's why they have that phrase and mentality, because they know when the people are vulnerable, that's when you deploy something. This is logical. This is easy tactics. Easy. So I showed you those articles up here, right? So that backs up. I just showed you all the backing information of the things and why I said what I said, right? I showed you the article from the World Economic Forum the other day in one of those previous videos. Everybody knows about the Stellar working with the United Nations. That's not a secret. I just showed you the mentality that pervades them. And so, and with, just put all that together. With the increase in crises, why would there not be an increased use in Stellar Aid disbursement platform? So then the last thing I'm going to put out there once again, once again, is how I say, and people seem to have a problem with this, that Ripple wanted the banks the XRP to be like the bank's Bitcoin. That doesn't mean it's a guarantee. It's like they don't control the banks. It's just their intention. But that was their intention. And unless they say, oh, we don't think that way anymore, we take that back. Unless they say that, then it continues. People don't have to say things over and over again. The government doesn't have to keep coming out every year. If they came out in 2017 and said they want to use DLT, they came out in 2018 and said they want to use DLT. They came out in 2019, said it, and even showed you PDFs and documents. They don't have to keep coming out year after year to tell people they want to use DLT. Once you speak powerfully and strong, that's it. You leave it out there. Who takes it, takes it. Who doesn't, they don't. That's it. Once you speak powerfully, you don't have to rob yourself or your statement of power by continuously beating people over the head with it. No, I already spoke. If you want to find this, if you're worthy, you'll find it. That's how they think. That's how life is. Only the worthy cross the deserts, the hot desert sands. Only the worthy go through the struggle and get to the other side. This has been, listen, I can't, it's like hard for me to explain to people this. This is the way the world always has been. It's why your corporations are set up a certain way. It's why your sororities and fraternities are set up a certain way. It's why the school system is set up a certain way. It's in humanity to make people and things prove themselves. So it's the same way with finding something in information. This pervades everything. Where there is a testing or a testing ground or a testing period before you prove yourself worthy of getting to this. So if you can't get to that information, they're not going to keep saying it. It's the same way where Ripple doesn't have to continuously say, we want XRP to be a world reserve currency. They say it once, they speak with power, walk away. If you find out, you find out. If you don't, you don't. It's not on them to continuously say that. It's on them to try to actuate on that. So the government doesn't have to keep telling people. Ripple doesn't have to keep telling people that they want it to be a world reserve currency. And if they say that it's not that anymore, they don't want that anymore. OK, then they said that. Then they took it back. But the same thing with how they wanted XRP to be the bank's Bitcoin. What has negatively changed about that? They said last year they were going after all the commercial banks. Does that sound like something's changed negatively or positively? It sounds like positively. They're still going after all the banks. So it only became better. They're only proving what they said before. They don't have to continuously say it for it to be reality, so for it to be their goal. If you know, you know. That's it. You hear that phrase all the time these days, and it's expedient. That's it. But somewhere on the screen, I hope I showed that article to you. So now I show all the articles and all the data I believe that I need to show to back up the video that I put out yesterday. That's what we do as researchers. I'm not an influencer. I don't have something to sell you. You can't superimpose and project on everyone what your experience is with another. It's like in that movie Kingdom of Heaven. If you watch that, and you had this battle going on between Balian and Salahuddin. Then they came together and Balian said, well, these people here before you did this and that. And Salahuddin said, I am not those men. Exactly. I am not those people. I don't know those people. I don't know what they do. I'm not here to influence anybody. I'm here to share my research and a little bit of opinion. That's it. We've heard plenty about their being necessary to have an XRP futures ETF before a spot ETF. And this individual here, Eleanor Terrett, a Fox business analyst, is bringing a little clarity to that. What she's saying is that the SEC plays this game of trust, and they use a futures market to monitor for any shady business. It's the same thing that they did for Bitcoin. So that's what she's saying is necessary for XRP to achieve a spot ETF. You know, pushing the deployment of Soroban back to me was not a bad thing. It was a good thing, in my humble opinion. A very good thing. Let's make sure it's all good. And then when it rolls out, it can dominate. And I think it'll have a great effect on XLM. Here's one of the reasons why. So if you go to soroban.stellar.org, you'll see their fee model. There's a page over there titled Fees and Metering. OK, it says fee model. Executing a Soroban transaction on Stellar Network requires a fee. Like I said, everything that happens on Stellar requires XLM, whether it's a little or a lot. Obviously, it has to start as a little if there's a little bit of things happening. Then it grows over time. How you feel about that is how you feel about that. It says here, this measure helps prevent spam and allows multiple parties to compete for inclusion in the ledger in case of traffic surges. So what they just explained there is the same thing that they explained on the regular stellar.org website about XLM, that there's surge pricing. So the higher your transaction, the higher the amount, the more priority you get. That's what people don't understand about Stellar in the future. If they can bring a ton of traffic, now you got people pretty much bidding for spots. So they just keep increasing the amount of XLM that they're paying with, because you have to pay with XLM for the fees. And it just keeps going up. I mean, like, I don't know how high it's going to go. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But that's what surge pricing is. They have equations there. You could go there and just look at the equations that they put there, if that page is still up, and just make your own calculations, right? But anyway, it says inclusion in the ledger in case of traffic surges. How do you think that traffic is going to be affected if XLM goes insane with smart contracts in the future? Then it says this, the fee, they make it clear, people, the fee is paid using the native Stellar token lumens, also known as XLM. You don't say. Of course, that's why everybody's super excited about Soroban. That's how Soroban affects the Stellar network. It brings lumens into play more, maybe even much more. It says Soroban transaction fee comprises two parts, the resource fee, so XLM's used in one way, and the inclusion fee, that's XLM used in another. The resource fee is the amount of lumens, XLM, the submitter must pay for their transaction to be included in the ledger. It depends solely on the amount of resources the transaction needs for execution. I love how that sounds. That's interesting. There is no auction for the resource fee. The inclusion fee is the maximum fee bid. Told you they got a bid on it. The maximum fee bid the submitter is willing to pay for inclusion. It is used to prioritize transactions. It says here, the inclusion fee can be discounted depending on the traffic. If there's a lot of traffic, there ain't going to be any discount. There isn't. Let me not say ain't. There isn't going to be any discount if there's a lot of traffic. And that's what we're hoping for, right? If the ledger is not at capacity, only the minimal base fee is charged 100 stroops. Now, wait a minute, because they have, you scroll down this page, they have a fee rate chart. Go look at this fee rate chart. It says here, 10,000 CPU instructions cost 100 stroops. Let's get past the little amounts. Let's go here to something interesting. If you want to write 1 kilobyte to a 2 gigabyte, 1 kilobyte to 2 gigabyte ledger, that's 4 million stroops. Let me ask you a question. How many stroops is 1 XLM? It says if you want to write 1 kilobyte, I think that's kilobyte, KB. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not afraid to be wrong. All right. If I'm wrong, I want people to correct me so I can learn and grow. Some people be like, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm way past immaturity. I promise you, I'm one of the most mature people you will ever be around. You could fall in front of me. I'm not going to laugh. Like, if I'm wrong, correct me. I'm perfectly fine with that. And we keep it pushing. And I like to have fun too. So it says write 1 KB to 4 GB. I'll just say it like that. Ledger, 4 billion stroops. What? I could just stop right there. But let's not stop there. It says store 1 KB persistent entry for 1 month. 1 month. 2 gigabyte ledger. 4 million stroops. Let's go back to the 4 billion. 4 billion stroops. Let's go there. How much is how many stroops is 1 XLM? So right here it says daily transaction fees in terms of XLM divided by the number of transactions made on Stellar. 1 XLM equals 10 million stroops. They just said 4 billion. So now if you have an extremely high transaction volume, and I'm going to assume high transaction value, since the higher your transaction value, that's going to give you the right to be included in the ledger according to Stellar. That's a lot of potential, a lot of XLM flowing around at some point if they can pull all this off and if things go according to plan. That's a whole lot of XLM. Once again, one XLM is just 10 million stroops. They said that this activity, whatever that is, write 1 KB to 4 GB ledger, 4 billion stroops. Sounds interesting to me. So we're going to leave off there today, folks, as I'm going to go relax and take a load off. I'm telling you right now. And we will reconvene tomorrow. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the Monday.